servant, but I also do chicken rearing. She's a new member. Good morning to you all. My name is Helen Barugambire. I'm a stem cell therapist with a company called Riverbit. We are based at Uganda Road, and I'm visiting. This is my first time. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Erin Zepevo, a civil servant. Glad to meet you. Good morning, ladies. My name is Valentine Cherivaka. I'm the current board secretary. Glad to see you here. I deal in organic herbs and spices, but I'm an accountant by profession.
Thank you very much, ladies, for those introductions. Once again, welcome you. I hope you've received our agenda for today. On the agenda, we have an opening prayer. Could we ask a volunteer to... You've already done it. Can we redo? Because so many people have come. Just a short one. Just a short one.
Good morning, ladies. I'm Linda Candida Vuko. I'm a teacher by profession, but retired 2 months ago. Now I do some of these handcrafts. And I'm going to say the prayers for us today. Loving Father, we thank you and we glorify your name for bringing each and every one here safely from their respectable places. And Lord, we also request you to have wisdom about what we are going to discuss here so that we understand each other and we go back when we have achieved everything. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much. And ladies, as you know, we are having our AGM this year at the end of March. The dates have been set. It's the 28th of March. So I encourage each one of us to attend. If you are a member of WIC and you don't attend without a good reason, you have to pay a fine. So I would encourage you to attend. Same venue as we had last year. And we have a very good speaker. So please endeavor to attend. Other matters, as the AGM, will also have our election. Our time is coming to an end. So I encourage you to be part of the team that will bring in a new team of the executive of the board. So please ensure that you don't miss. Put this in your calendar. And ladies, I just want to remind us that each month we have targets. We've committed to paying certain amounts of money. The minimum is 50,000 per month per person, but that is just the bare minimum. If you all pay this amount of money, we would have close to 40 million in 1 month. So I encourage you ladies to pay up when you're supposed to pay. Just find a way of collecting this money. Some of us do in groups, so that you ensure that you get the bare minimum that you need to put in. But I also want to remind us that we also have the shares. You're encouraged to buy shares because they come with a dividend at the end of the year. But in addition to that, we also have various other saving opportunities. For example, we are saving for the Wiki home. We encourage people to be part of that so that you can be on the historical wall of fame when we do get a home for Women Investment Club. You are encouraged to put in as much as you can. We had said that 1 million is the minimum, but you can save it in installments. And in addition to that, we also encourage people to pay beyond that. Otherwise, at the AGM, we'll have to devise a new way of finding the money if the members are not able to pay for the funding of this cause. Just a reminder also that we still have land in Gulamu on Mitiana Road, and our plot goes for 13 million. There are various ways of paying for this. You don't have to have all the money up front. So please find out if you're interested so that you can be part of a wiki environment, living in an estate. I think it will be a very good investment for you and for the future. Having said that, I just want to welcome our speaker for this morning, Ms. Sanita Mago. She's going to talk about a topic which is very much hidden. Many of us have this in our families or friends we know who have been affected by this condition. And she's going to talk about epilepsy and how we can come from fear to understanding, and how we as women can change the story of epilepsy in our lives, in our businesses, in our communities, in our families. So I just want to welcome her, and she will introduce herself better. I invite you to come up front.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I wonder where I should present from. I'm a very bouncy person. My presentations are usually on my feet. I like interaction. I want people to be involved. It's not going to be a lecture. It's not a medical presentation. It's a multilingual presentation. We can speak English, we can speak Luganda, we can speak Swahili, a bit of Lugisu, and a bit of Runyachitara. I can keep it in all those languages. I wonder, Madam Chair, can I feel comfortable here?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Anita Mago. A member of WIC for several years. Well, I think since we started this WIC, yes, I'm one of those founders, the basic ones who started this organization. Apart from getting involved in all those activities we've talked about, we are farmers, we are teachers, we are business women, we are designers and all that. I took interest in something which is a social aspect, and I'm now an expert with lived experience in epilepsy. I'm also a member of the International Bureau of Epilepsy, where I am a community council member, and I'd like to announce that I've been elected for the second time to be on that council for another 3 years, starting this month. Now, ladies, please be comfortable. Let me know if you want me to change to another language or to slow down and so on. Okay, we'll mix as we go along. Yeah. Now, ladies, just imagine as we are seated here, supposing one of us fell off her chair and she started convulsing, foaming on her mouth, and all those things. What would you do? Madam, what would you do? You have no idea. How about my neighbor there? What would anybody do? Yeah, she says run away. And why would you run away? Yeah.
Fear of what?
That's where we are starting. We want to move from fear to understanding. Why do we run away when we see such a person? What comes to our mind when we see somebody convulsing? Can anybody tell me? Yes, lady there.
Let me answer you.
No problem.
In our culture,
Yes, Nyabo there. Yes. Yes.
If your body gets contaminated with their saliva or any fluid, that disease is going to catch you.
Any other suggestions? Any other ideas, contributions? Yes?
Thank you. Some people believe when you get closer to that person or you touch, that is spirit of epilepsy may enter you.
Anybody else? Yes.
I run away because I don't know what to do.
Another person?
I think generally we have a fear of death. Buli omu atya okufa. Kati omuntu oyo aba yeesika, abanga agenda okufa. Kyetuva tutya.
Actually, waliwo obwana obwali budduka. Kids were running away from somebody who had gotten a seizure. And why? And they say that we fear that person. He was dead and now he's walking. So they believe that that condition makes a person die and then they come to life again. Now, let's first of all, oh, there's a lady there.
Good morning, ladies. What I've learned about epilepsy, you can help someone by cutting onions on the nose, or you can put a spoon. When someone is convulsing, you just put a spoon to stop him or her from biting the tongue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies, for all those contributions. Now, I think we better start from, where should we start? To explain what epilepsy is? Okay. Now, and causes, right. Epilepsy is a neurological condition, which means it is a condition which is to do with the brain. There are electrical activities in the brain which are not normal. That's why a person gets in that state. Have you ever seen maybe maybe you are cooking on an electrical thing and then the wires are not well fixed and then you see those sparks? Yeah. Have you all seen that? Yes. Now, a person who has epilepsy, that's what happens in their brain. And that's why they go off and they fall. Now, before I even go further to explain the causes, I would like to inform you that that's the only condition we know as epilepsy. Seeing somebody fall there and then they are foaming on their mouth and so on. But epilepsy comes in many forms and it depends on which part of the brain is affected. As I said, I'm not medical and we are not going into that, but I would like to point out other forms of epilepsy. Have you ever seen somebody who, like you are discussing, you are talking, and then that person blanks out and they just stare at you?
Yes.
And then afterwards they come back. That is a form of epilepsy. Sometimes, that's why those who drive on the roads have to be very careful. Sometimes a person has epilepsy, that type which makes them just go on walking and walking and walking. Now, their brain is off, and you are there driving, and you think this person is deaf. You press the horn, the person is just walking on. They have epilepsy of that kind. And you can end up knocking them. Because at that moment, they are off, their brain is off. There is a gentleman a few years ago who was killed. You know, he happened to be stuck at somebody's veranda, and he just stood there. And then the wife said, "Hey, mommy, waliwo omuntu ali wano." And then they told him, "Go away." And he was fixed there. He couldn't hear. They told him, "If you don't move, we are going to beat you up." The man was static. They cut him with a panga, and he died. And it was somebody important, somebody's brother, somebody important. So they was, up to now, they are still following up that story to get justice for that person. He couldn't hear. He was off. But he wasn't kicking and doing all that, but he was just fixed for a while. And he was beaten because they thought maybe he was a robber or whatever. So now, yes, aba ayimiridde oba muba munyumya oli n'agira kinaavaako n'abeera nga tawulira, oba oluusi ogenda n'olaba omuntu nga talina control of their arm, for instance, ng'omukono guno gukola byagwo, nga gukola byagwo, ng'atudde oba, you know. Sometimes even okuddako eno mu gundi nga abasomesa badde batugamba, omwana oluusi abeera nga ali off, nga afunye seizure. Omusomesa najja n'amukuba, "Kyana gwe towulira." Naye ng'omwana afunye seizure nga tawulira. So there are so many forms of epilepsy. There are others, oluusi omuntu akeera ku makya nga pilo eriko omusaayi, nga yeerumye, nga yastrugglinze, gye bayita nocturnal seizure. Emisana abeera okay, naye ekiro kimutawaanya, ate nga kiba kizibu okumanya nti omuntu alina seizure ey'ekika ekyo. So katugira tukomaawo ku types, tugende ate tubuuze ki ekireeta epilepsy. Ekireeta epilepsy ekisookera ddala kyenyiza okwogerako kubanga nange ye experience gye nnina ey'okuba abakyala engeri gye tuzaala omwana ono, engeri gy'azaalibwa. Oluusi omwana akoowa, oluusi oyinza okuba nga obadde n'omusujja ne gwaffectinga omwana oyo, those medical issues, omwana obwongo bwe ne bubeera affected. Ekyo kimu kiri awo. Ekirala naye nga basically byonna bikwatagana n'okubeera nga obwongo butawaanyiziddwa. Kwegamba injury to the brain, any sort of injury that can happen. Fenna wano sirowooza nti tulina atatambulirangako ku bodaboda tuzaagala zitwanguya. Ate twasookera ddala okugoba helmet, tetwagala nviiri zaffe zitawaane. Naye kasitoogwa n'ofuna injury ku mutwe n'ogwa ku boda kiyinza okuviiramu epilepsy. Abazadde oluusi tugenda ne tutawaana n'abaana oba n'abasomesa, njogera nnyo ku basomesa, n'akwata lula kyanagwe n'akuba omutwe ogwo. Omutwe gufuna injury, omuntu n'avaamu okufuna ensimbu. Abaana mugenda ne mubalaba nga mu estate bali awo bazanya, oli n'asindika munne n'agwa eri, mwana najja nti omutwe mami omutwe. Always yongera okukitunuulira. Omwana ayinza okuba nga afunye injury ejja okumuleetera epilepsy. Ate sigamba nti no kigirawo. It can happen after a week, after a year, after a month, anytime. Individuals are different. So ekintu kyonna ekikwata ku mutwe, oluusi ffe abakyala n'abaami baffe tugenda ne tutabuka eyo ne tukubagana. Omusajja n'akkuba olubale ku mutwe, oba tofunye injury erabika naye ng'akubye omutwe ogwo, era bannange bwe kibaawo omutwe gukwekeko olw'okufuna kizibu ekyo. After a while oyinza okufuna epilepsy. Okukula obukadde, aging, oyinza okufuna epilepsy ng'era bwabaawo endwadde endala zonna ezijja mu bukadde, kisoboka okubaawo. Ffenna nga bwe tuli balimi, tuli ba business women and so on, abamu tunyumirwa nnyo okulya pork by the roadside. Kazaamuliddaako. Abannange awo bwe mbabuulira nti pork is one of the causes of epilepsy. Poorly cooked meat, and that is pork basically, by the roadside. Abagirya ebawoomera, naye mwegendereze, oyinza okufuna kubanga mubaamu obuwuka obuwamu bagita pockworm or something. Ekirala omusujja ogutali properly treated. Omusujja guno ogwa malaria gwe tulwala, abaana gwe balwala nga tegujjanjabiddwa, muwulirako mwenna bagamba nti omusujja gwagenze ku bwongo. Kati bwe gutuuka eyo ate okugujjanjaba kiba kizibu nnyo, ate ne gusobola okukola ki, ne guleeta causes ezo. Naye ate njagala okubabuulira nti waliwo omuntu ayinza okugwa nga talina epilepsy, wabula ng'alina kye bayita kiba psychological, kiba kirala nga bw'otugamba nti abaana abavubuka mu masomero eyo oluusi bagenda ne bagira ki, ne bagwa mu gundi eyo ne beekyankyamula. Ffenna twayitako, abasinga twayitako mu ssomero ne tulaba nti waliwo abaana ababeera mu condition eyo. Naye epilepsy ye kitegeeza okufuna embeera ezo zonna zenjogeddeko nga ziri unprovoked, kweganga tewaliwo kigize eki naye ne kibaawo. Naye omwana ayinza okuba ng'akyankalanye oba ebirowoozo oba embeera nga tayagala subject, ng'ayagala bamuggyeyo oba bwe bityo, tekiyinza ekyo kuba nti kiddiriŋŋana. Naye kino ekya epilepsy okumanya nti nsimbu kiba kirina okuba nga kiddiriŋŋana. Ate tumaze
nga bakwa ensimbu mu famire yaabwe.
Mulimu families ezimu nga balina ekizibu ekyo nga bakwa ensimbu nga kijja kitambulira mu famire eyo.
Okay, well, there are causes of epilepsy which I have mentioned, but they say there are so many other causes which are not yet identified. You can say that that lady or the children she gets have this condition, but sometimes it is because of the way she delivers, because of the way she handles herself. But still, you can't rule it out that it can be in the family. Yeah, it can be in the family. But
Can I add something? Sometimes it's the way biologically your brain is made and it is fragile. It's like some people can stand strain, but others cannot. And in some families, there's a tendency for people, for example, to be depressed, or to kill themselves. That can come from the biological factors of their nature, of how they are created. So they might have a fragile brain, which has been, inherited, and that can be a cause, a predisposition to epilepsy.
is it a question?
No.
A contribution?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes nutrition deficiency during the pregnancy, if you are not taking the right things which can add up to the brain, it can cause that one. Also, the environment. Sometimes women, when they conceive, they are, as she said, depressed. Sometimes they go into depression, stress, even the weather can also affect the newborn, the baby when they're in the first trimesters. Thank you.
Now,
I'm sharing something. I'm looking after a boy of she's now about 35.
is that a question?
A contribution.
Okay.
She's now about 35 years. This boy, when he was in senior 2, he was playing football, he fell down, below. We were called the parents to come go and pick him. We did. We picked the boy, admitted. They said neurological something. He did not improve immediately. But later, they did craniotomy. They discovered he had abnormality in the brain, in the vessels which supply the brain, aneurysm. It was done. Up to now, he's an epileptic. He's still under my hands, but that's how it is. That's how he got it. When you don't give the drug, he fits. When he gets malaria, which is severe, you treat malaria, but the doctor had told me that when you are treating malaria, remember that the drug which controls malaria affects the camapinsa P. You increase the dose a bit. I'm with him. He's now a very good boy. I took him to do skiing. I'm with him. He wants to get married, but I don't know what to do with him now. He's under the surgeon in Senyonjo. Who is going to cancel the woman?
So, yeah, thank you for that contribution. Yeah, we shouldn't be going that line right now, but I can add on that the medications for epilepsy to control it, sometimes, when you have a person with that condition, you have to be working closely with a musawo kubanga eddagala erimu terikwatagana na oyinza okuba ng'owonye omusujja ate eddagala ly'omuwadde ne ate nerisiimuulawo liri lyamira erya siija. Kati buli kiseera olina okubeera ku bunkenke ng'obuuza kino kikwatagana na kino. Kaakati tugende ku bintu bye tasaanidde kola. Waliwo abagambye, somebody said you put onions, you put a spoon, all these things shouldn't happen. When a person gets a seizure, the first thing you do is to clear their to loosen the clothes so that the airway is clear. Don't let them face up because sometimes amalusu gayinza okukola ki okubatuga. Put them on their side. Bw'abanga ali awali furniture and measure zino, please remove these things. Then loosen it. We talked about loosening the clothes. Muleke awumule. Aba ng'asamba atya, don't restrain. Tomukwata. Kubanga amaanyi gaba nago gaba mangi nnyo. You can even break the bones. Yeah? You can easily break their bones because they are very forceful. They are very forceful. Now we are talking about a person who is yeah, but when you see the other one, gwetwagambye nti nayimirira oba akola ki abeera nga ali dazed, tomukanga tokola ki, muleke abeere mu state ye until they come out of it. Right? Tomuwa kintu kyonna kyakunywa oba kyakulya. Now imagine a person with that force and you put a spoon in their mouth. What is bound to happen? They are bound to lose their teeth because that spoon is going to, you know, they are so strong, they are so energetic at that time that they will crush on that spoon and then their teeth will get broken. Just let them be. The best you can do is to time, be calm. Kubanga tajja kufa. Tajja kufa. Beera mukakkamu. Yes, please.
I was thinking that the spoon helps that a patient not to
No.
I was thinking that the spoon helps not to bite the tongue.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Just help them to be on the side if you can. Naye ekijiiko ebiti. My daughter would find herself on the field nga bamusindisemu ebiti, and then you know the sowers kwegamba munkamwa ebiti ebyo bimutakula. The best that can happen nti nga tamenyese mannyo. But don't put anything in their mouth and don't restrain them from kicking and whatever. Just let them be, but keep the place safe so that they don't get hurt, they don't get injured. Yeah. Now, like we said from the beginning, this is a neurological condition. Epilepsy si dogo. Ekyo njagala muve wano nga mukitegedde nti twayombye ne neighbor oba wundi oba mukyala mujja ye yaleetedde omwana wange okuba mu mbeera eno. Mulowooze all those causes we've talked about. Oyinza okuba nga wafunye accident. Bwe walwanye na mwami olwamujja wooli n'otandika okulwala n'oga nti omukazi ye yakuloze. Nedda. Eri fight gye mwabaddemu ye yaleese eki? Obuzibu. Kye bagamba mbu nno simanyi
bw'aba afuuye ebyo byonna, those are myths and misconceptions. Si bituufu, tebiriiyo. Obulwadde obwo tebusiiga. Kaakati you imagine, nze nina omuwala mukulu kaakati, abamu bamumanyi muwala mukulu ddala, is over 30 now. Naye singa bwali bwakwata, nze yamulera okuva mu buto, baganda be babeera nabo nga tetufunangayo muntu gwe bukutte. Ne bannanga abalala bangi beje bali abalina abaana abalina condition oba n'abakulu nga bagirina, naye totyanga kuyamba muntu tebukwata. Mu Luganda kyebagamba, Oluganda olutuufu nti tebukola ki? Tebutuulira. Bannabuddu bwe tugamba tebutuulira, tebukwata, tebusiiga. Amalusu ojja kubanga ogenyinyadde bwenyinyazi, naye tegajja kukwasa bulwadde obwo. Bannange ekyo tukitegedde. Tuleke okusosola abaana abo oba abantu abo. Mbabuulira ekyennaku ennyo nti nno waliwo abaana betusanga nga babasibidde mu buyumba bw'enkoko. Wajjawo maama omupya maka naga nti ono omwana ajja kusiiga abaana bange obulwadde, n'aliira ku sowaani yiye wabbalibbali. Being discriminated, the children are discriminated against. They don't share their clothes, they don't share plates, they don't share beddings, because you are thinking that this child is going to pass on the disease to the others. That is not true. Ladies, I want you to move from here knowing that epilepsy is not contagious. What else do we want to know about epilepsy?
How do we control, prevent?
Well, we can prevent epilepsy by one. When we sit on the border, put on a helmet, which most of us, because I always ask the border man, you have yours on, how about mine? Abachala, women don't want to put on helmets. And then I say, but for me, because I know, it's just falling off the border and you are disorganized. Avoid the accidents. If you can. I mean, for ladies, when you are pregnant, seek medical attention. Seek medical attention, because some of these things happen when they are beyond our control, but we try. We try to prevent. Now, as our business, we in our businesses, some of us may have this condition, but because of the high level of stigma, we hide it. When somebody knows that lady has her business, but she has this condition, because you fear that you will get the condition, so you don't go to her shop. But one thing we have to know, that the people who have this condition are the ones who need finances most, because they need to look after themselves. Yeah? Medication is very expensive. Even when they control the condition, they have other, they call them comorbidities, other conditions like stress, like, they have all these other things. Sometimes a person can't wake up in the morning. They are so eager to work, but they can't wake up in the morning. And there's also what they call SUDEP. This is, I think, something which most of you have never heard about. It is a sudden death. People with this condition have higher chances of, we are all going to die at some point. But people who have epilepsy have higher chances of death than, earlier death, I should say, than the rest of us. Because they can go to bed and then they don't wake up. That is what they call SUDEP, sudden death from epilepsy. Just like that. So, for them, they are living today, they say good night, you are not sure they'll be awake in the morning without anything special happening to them. So now, as I said, these are the people who need their money most. Let me give you a story of a lady where we were presenting, and this lady cried. You know, we were talking about not being contagious and so on. So this lady comes forward and she says, "Please forgive me. I did something very bad. What did you, please forgive me." And then said, "What's the problem?" She said that she had a maid, a housemaid. And then this maid got a seizure. And she told her, "Go. Pack up and go." And this girl begged her, "Please." And she was working very well, by the way. She said, "Go." And then she begged and cried and said, "I'm not moving from here. This has been my home," and so on. So this woman went and got the police. And the police took this girl away. Now, when this lady learned that this disease is not contagious and it is so expensive and so on, she felt so bad because this girl was dedicated to the job, looking after the children very well, doing all the housework. But because she didn't know that epilepsy is not contagious, she sent her away. Now imagine, she came from the village, she didn't have a livelihood. Now she was working very well, dedicated to her job because she needed to survive. Yeah? So, I want you to take that message. Epilepsy is not contagious, but it can be controlled. For those who have children or relatives with this condition, one thing is very strict about epilepsy is that you have to take the medication. If it is 7 in the morning, you have to take it again 7 in the evening. There is no saying, I'm going to party, I'm going with my friends, let me put the medicine aside. It doesn't work that way. You have to be dedicated to medication regimes. Give it at the time it is supposed to be given. And a person, one thing we've discovered among ourselves is that people who have this condition, you know, God deprives you of one thing, but then you have another. Like you find people who are deaf, their sight is very sharp, isn't it? Now, people who have epilepsy are extra sharp at certain things. They can be very good doctors. They can be extraordinary pilots. Some of those planes are flown by people who have epilepsy, if you didn't know. Yes. They can be very good engineers. They can be very good artists. You know, God gives them something very, very special in spite of their condition. If they are given a chance. Here in Africa, once you know somebody has this condition, you don't even want them to move close to you, but they have special talents that they own. Now, in our businesses, sometimes we may have a relative who has this condition. Now, ladies, don't ignore that relative. Give them a possibility. Let them work in your business. Help them to teach them what they need to do, and you'll be surprised. They are very intelligent, I'm telling you as a fact. They are very intelligent. Don't lose it. If it's your child, don't lose it. This madam has been saying that, talking about her, about her son. What does he do? Can you tell us what he does?
We have been seeing Dr. Senyonyo, who is a specialist in that area, neurological. When we asked him, he told us to take him for carpentry, which I did. Now he's a carpenter, but he's disturbing the doctor that he wants to get married.
Look, let me tell you.
The doctor told us that he can go ahead and look for a wife.
Yes, exactly. That's, you see, I think this attitude is going to change from here, because even our friend here is saying he's disturbing. He's not disturbing because he's open to his doctor. He tells the doctor what he thinks because he trusts the doctor. But don't think he's disturbing. Madam Chair, you had something?
Yes, I just wanted to say that ladies, disability is not inability. Yes. I used to organize resources for disabled people in Uganda, and we set up all those organizations which you've heard about. But I want to tell you that we had 12 international programs, and the head of those programs was a blind guy. And he was succeeded by one who was in a wheelchair. But when those people entered a room, they had a magnet. They were like so charismatic, so articulate, so able. So for me, I've seen people with disabilities doing very, very amazing things. So don't underestimate that child. You'll get the best grandchildren you've ever seen. And you'll be so proud of your son. So encourage him to get married, because the condition is manageable. I want to tell you that there's a very high person in this country who has that condition. And she's managing it. And you can't tell. So please give him the opportunity to become what he can become. Thank you.
To add on that issue, I have a cousin who has a son. He became blind. He got eye issues when he was young, around 4 years. Now he grew up when he's blind. But he's very, very intelligent. They were saying in Nairobi, they came here, the boy joined Makerere University, he did computer science, and he got a first-class degree in Makerere. And now he's working in DFC Bank, Kabarala branch, on customer care. If you go there, just ask a little bit, a gentleman called Arnold Chigozi. He's on the customer care, he's on the computer, and dealing with customer care. You know how busy the customer office is busy, but he's always there. And he's very, very articulate in his work. And he got married now, a girl from campus who is normal. The girl is normal. And how now they have a child, a boy child, and the boy is normal. Our grandson is normal. So please, how can a blind person not seeing? He has not seen anything because he got blind when he was 4 years. But now he's managing people who can see, and he's on the customer care. You can go there. Just ask for Arnold. You will see him there. He doesn't see anything, and he's very busy at work. Now he has a family and a child.
Thank you very much. Just to encourage all of us, like she said, it's a neuro problem. It's not my day, so I won't give this in detail. But what we must understand is that neurons are just the same as body cells. Our body cells grow every day. I'm a therapist, just as I told you, but for this epilepsy, if you manage it early enough, these neurons grow every day, and you can see somebody changing and actually healing, especially if they are still young, if you manage it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that one, that what the doctors say, each case is different. There is no cure for epilepsy right now, but it can be controlled. And like I said, sometimes, like kids have what they call a yabwe. Sometimes it is not epilepsy, but it's another condition.
It's a sign of epilepsy.
Yes. So let's all be encouraged to visit the medical personnel so that we are helped, we are supported. One, you must know, because let me give you an example. For me, I had to run to doctors for, even identification takes some time, because it is at 6 years that the doctors said that she has this condition. But then they said, if you take medication diligently for 2 years, this condition can go away. But we tried, they wean you off. Reduce the dose, reduce the dose, reduce the dose, reduce until you were at 0. So this condition, it came back. They said, okay, now we know it's for life, we have to do this, right? So it's case by case, yeah. But with medication, you can control the condition. For my case, if you saw my daughter, it's unfortunate that she hasn't been able to turn up. But for her, when we were forming this organization, people said, like you are lying so that people can, you are lying to make money, that you don't have this condition. And then people say, but you don't look like it. And then you say, how does it look like? How does it look like? If somebody is taking their medication, they are feeding well, they are following all the regimes, you can't even know. Because for me, my daughter has, now it's over 20 years, she has never had a seizure. Never.
Because you're managing it well.
Yes. So it is possible. Somebody had a contribution there.
Yes, I'm a rehabilitation officer. I know about it. Everybody with the disability, they have the same feeling biologically, which means the person who is going through that is not affected biologically. They will go for sex as usual, like any other person. Yes. That is societal, just negativity. When they have positive attitudes towards them, these people will grow in society, even develop normal. when they accepted and they given opportunity, as somebody said. So when you see somebody in that condition, doesn't mean that it's not out of the biology. It exists very well. So we should not look at them and regard them as somebody who cannot perform. And they usually give children without those conditions. And they always carry on right genes if followed well. Thank you.
Any more?
Nayansanyo nyabo ati bw'ogamba nti nno olumba olwo lulima ne twaziise mu gwe nga yafudde ekintu kye kimu olumbe lwamwataakinze kiro ssaawa like nga 10 okugenda okukya ku makya ng'afudde. Yabadde muntu w'amaanyi naye nga yasoma enjiniya mulamba naye twamuziise. Abadde ne girlfriend naye girlfriend tiyabadde ba fiancé naye teyabaddewo. Kati how do you manage that disease liri bw'ogamba nti abantu balumanaginga luli manageable? Kuba olwo naye lubadde lumuludde abadde 36 years.
Okay, let me answer in Uganda and then I'll answer the same because people want to. Kati okumanaginga obulwadde obwo nze kyeŋŋamba obulwadde obwo bw'amateeka mangi. Ng'eddagala bwe ndyogedde olirina okumirirwa ku budde. Omuntu alina okuwummula. Omuntu alina kwegamba buli omu alina ebimutula. In fact, I'm going to talk about that. So, managing basically is about self-discipline, commitment, taking your medication when you should, resting, eating well. There are so many things. It's a very complicated issue, but it can be managed. Now, maybe at this point, let me talk about the triggers. The triggers can be depression, can be stress, can be hunger, can be light. Okay, for me, this light has been disorganizing me a bit, but that's not. If I was a person with epilepsy, I would be disorganized. Light says, the lights, flickering, the TV, the computer games, all those things. For those, like some of us who are in the village, we go to fetch water. And then, you go to the Lucy and there's Kubako simmers on the water. That's why many people fall in that's why they fall in the whatever, in the well. Because of that, the fire, as it, the flames are jumping like that. But every individual has their own trigger. Others alcohol, others drugs. For example, every individual has their own trigger. All these are the things I'm mentioning are triggers, but each individual with a condition has to identify what triggers they are. Because even if you've taken the medication and you haven't rested, you get, yes, it's a very delicate condition, but you can still live with it normally. Yeah. And just to go back a little bit to what the lady was saying about marriage, when you have your daughter or son who has this condition, it's very wrong to deceive the partner or the potential partner. You should be open and talk to them. If they really love you, they will love you. They'll get married to you. There's another client we have who has a son who is very, very brilliant. This boy has epilepsy, but he got a first class BCom in Makerere. Baba Bagezi. So the mother keeps this boy in the village. Because she says this boy being around her is going to ruin her political career. Yes. Amukweka. So you see, sometimes because of her political career, she says, and now bano balina amaka gaabwe gololi, you know, high class. Naye omuvubuka oyo gwe magambye omugezi, that very clever boy, he would be in, what is that place? Nansana side somewhere. That's where he was staying.
They discriminate him.
Yes. But at the same time, if you have such a child, I'm telling you, let that child be independent.
Yes.
Just try to think that supposing you are not around, what happens? So let your boy marry. His wife will be looking after him. Or you want to continue babysitting? Yes.
Kakati, what I wanted to inquire, oyogedde n'ogamba nti mwabuzuula obulwadde ku myaka 3 obwa muwalawo. Abaana ku myaka 6. Kati I have my son. So yalinanga eyaabwe. And at some point, one doctor told me that maybe omwana wo tabanga alina epilepsy. Naye kyalingawo nga wa myezi nga 6-7 kati nga yesikaye nange nga ntya naye takyabikola. Kati bw'oyogedde n'entyamu oba olina mukebera ng'akuze kuba takyabikola.
Yeah, but still, you can go and get it's called the something. It is called EEG. If you have any fear or any doubt or any suspicion, go and do an EEG. It is also expensive, but you have then you will know. But for me, it's not that something was happening, but we didn't know what it was. Because my daughter she wasn't getting that type of, like throwing herself around and, seizing and all that and foaming. No. For her, she would just come when you are seated there, she would just come and hold you like this. And he's there for a while. And then you just pat her, and then it will end. Yeah, she never used to. It was, I told you there are so many times. Yeah. And what they say is that she's sometimes seeing like something is going to attack her. Like, it is what they call an aura. It's as if alinga alina ekintu ekigenda okumwata ekimukanga najja n'abeera kati omuwooyawooya n'awola. And then it was afterwards they discovered that she had. But here they were not telling us what it was, but anyway, I was outside the country where we were told that she has that condition. When she was 6 years old, but we didn't know. Yeah. Because she just used to do that. And another thing, we would say, Temumusesa, don't make her laugh. Because I think her trigger was excitement. If she got excited and laughed through that day, so you've got to understand your triggers. You've got to understand all these things
And now,
but check with the doctors, the medical. Although in Uganda we don't have a single specialist for that condition, by the way. None. While South Africa has 600. There we go. There we go. Ladies, just a minute. Butabika is a mental institution. Epilepsy is not a mental condition. We go to Butabika because they take the same medications here and there to release, to calm the brain, but we go to Butabika because there are no specialists. We don't have a single one, except we have, for children, we have Dr. Professor Kakoza. Anybody knows her? Heard about her? Emulago. There's Professor Kakoza for children, and then there's Dr. Idro, and then there's another one called. But those are child specialists. They are not epileptologists. You understand? They are not, like you say, you go to hospital and you are treated because you have a complication as a woman, but you don't go to a gynecologist. He's the specialist for women's work. But you can be treated by any other. So that's how it is with the epilepsy. They are no specialists, but other people help. Other people help. That's what it is. Any more?
now, Mama, a quick one. Okay, let me finalize.
Speak since you have the microphone.
In your discussion, I just realized maybe many people have this condition, but they don't know it, especially in our Islamic community. So for us, we will refer it to as majini. Because, for example, my elder sister, she's been having issues from her childhood. But my mother says it came when she fell sick at around 2 years. That's cerebral malaria. So she has never healed. And for them, they refer to it as, I know majini. But she bites her tongue, and it comes at night. She now has 4 children at 35 years. She has suffered. She has never got peace. But maybe I will share with her, because even me, I used to, maybe I know majini. But she has suffered with the disease. Anyway, thank you. It's been a learning platform.
Thank you for sharing, because I have, there are people I know in Bukoba and Sindi, the ladies, they take their children all the way to Tanzania, Badina Majini, but you are right, as you are saying.
I just wanted to add that one of the challenges from my experience was that because of the diverse conditions of epilepsy, the medication also needs to be diverse.
Yes.
And unfortunately in Uganda they would import 1 or 2 types and give them across the board, and the conditions wouldn't get any better. So that is still a challenge, I think. If you don't have the specialist, it's unlikely that you'll have the medication. The other thing I wanted to comment about is about disability. In most of the cases of disability where you allow a child to go to school, those children excel, and ultimately they become the pillars of their families. I've seen this abroad, I've seen it in the country, I've seen it in districts. Disabled people, if you have any person in your family who is disabled, give them an opportunity, and they become the backbone of your family.
I don't know how much time you were giving us.
Thank you very much, Madam. Mine is a question. I have my elder sister who ever the head is moving like this. I don't know whether that is also a kind of a blockage. The head is ever moving like this.
Well, like I said, I am not a medical person. I'm just an expert with lived experience as a caregiver. But I would advise, please seek medical advice. Because the doctors will put you you undergo various tests and whatever. Because sometimes the person does that when they're suffering from this or the other. By looking, you can't all these things and you can't yes enough.
Thank you. Who are the specialists that treat that condition? For example, if you suspect, where would you go?
Well, currently here in Uganda, we are using people who are in the mental department, like you say, Butabika, and all these mental specialists, if I can call it that. Neurologists would help, but I don't know who, because others, you will find that the neurologist you have is a neurosurgeon. But the person to treat that, if you can afford, then you have to go outside Uganda at the moment. But still, we are managing. We are managing with what we have. What you do, you go to hospital, to any hospital, I don't know where you frequent, and talk to them. They know, they will direct you. Because like the area where we are working in the communities in Masaka there, the person who is overall is the district mental health contact person. So the people who are helping with epilepsy right now are people who are dealing with mental. But they are doing a good job because they have contained the condition, except that the stigma is so high that many of us are fearing to come out. Because of those things, we do what? Our children will get contaminated and all those, Otherwise, now as business women, please, I am advising, if you are the one with a condition, if you have a shop where you are dealing with, many of us are farmers, they are out there in the garden, but those who are dealing with the customers one-on-one quite often, take that courage and know that epilepsy is not contagious. In case you have a customer who has come to your shop, try to help them. I know people will say, hey, you be the advocate. From what I've told you and with the experience I have, please take it from me that epilepsy is not contagious. At the end of my presentation, I'll give you some handouts, information pieces, so that you go out with them and you can even pass them to other people. Be that ambassador, be that person to spread the word. Because people with epilepsy are suffering quietly, they are hidden. Parents are hiding their children. We have our businesses, our children would be participating because they need a lot of money to support them. So encourage them to make the money, to work with you, to manage your businesses. Yeah? While you are running around chasing materials and chasing customers, this child who has the condition can be holding the business as long as you support them, to give them the medication, to rest enough, to eat in time. For us in the communities, it's very important. Once you never hold a meeting like this without having something for the people to eat and drink. And we never say, oh, kamaro kogera kamalirize. No, it is lunchtime. It's lunchtime. You can continue after. Yeah? You've got to be very cautious of time for people who have this condition and of course other conditions. When you go to a wedding, make sure your daughter has got something. You have something in the bag. This child is starving and she's going to get an attack. But you are waiting for when they will serve. Don't. Always be prepared. Don't leave your children at home because they will shame you at the wedding, over in public, over what. No. Because what I know from my experience, it is these children who have the condition who are always left at home. No. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. Move with them. Now when you leave this world, when God takes you, who is going to look after that child? When you yourself, you have been keeping them there. Give them all the possibilities. You watch from the side. Before I wind up, let me tell you a story of a nurse who was in Mulago here. She had a daughter who had the condition of epilepsy. But this girl, Eva, they were shaving her head. She was not allowed to go to the shop. She was not allowed to cook. She wasn't allowed to do anything because she had epilepsy. But then when we talked to her, and she said, and then she started telling her mother that she wants to have a child, like this lady has been telling us. And then we asked her, when you were that age, what were you doing? You know, she had boys. But this girl, like somebody was saying, these people who have these conditions are normal. They feel, they love, they hate, like all of us do. Yeah? So, this girl was complaining that even the babies of my sisters have their braids, but for me, every time they are cutting off my hair. She wasn't mad. People who have epilepsy are not mad. They are not mental. They are normal. And you know, it just comes and it goes. After the episode, they are okay. Except that they can't control that episode. And by the way, if you let it happen and happen, every time it damages the brain, that one you should have in mind. So try to avoid. So, anyway, the next time we met this lady, this girl had her braids. She was so happy. And she said, now you did something magical for me. You can see I'm different. And then we asked the mother, what does that hair do to her? Does it make her any less? She said, no, she's happier. Yeah? She's happier. Before, because she wanted gratitude, she would take everything from home and give it away. Because she wanted to be appreciated. So, atwale simu yo najigaba. Na atwale vitu na yes. So my dear friend, the discussion, Oh, there's that lady there, please, can we have
Just
Auntie?
one short one.
One short one.
Auntie is ready, so
Yeah.
let the speaker wind up.
Thank you, Madam, for giving me that chance. We have that glacial institution, but once in a while there is a Nobel hospital who help people in that is sickness. Yeah, people survive that is sickness. Yeah, people survive gone there to check on my brain.
Live happily with those people live happily with those people we've been hiding there. And you know, in loneliness, when people are hidden, they are lonely and then they suffer from that. But if I know that there is another person who has the condition like me, we can share. We as caregivers can share experiences and improve on the lives of those who are currently deprived and neglected. Thank you very much, ladies. I'm going to give you the pamphlets so that you have a reference.
Thank you very much, Anita. Let's give her a round of applause. I think we've been suitably enlightened, and I encourage us to become advocates for some of these conditions. And by the way, ladies, if there are issues which concern you personally, remember that they might concern other people as well. So if you're ready to talk about any situation, just contact the office, let us know if you can give us a talk, and we'll be very happy to have you as a presenter. Thank you very much. We are not only affected by social and economic, we're also affected by social issues as mothers and women. So thank you very much, Ms. Anita. Thank you.
Ladies, there's this book which has been published based on the experience of my daughter. It's a book that we buy for the communities. In case anybody is interested, a copy is 15. It's called A Story of Courage. Subi, which is a hope, a story of courage and hope. But you can look at it if you want to buy it. It's a good resource for young people, especially if you have a child who has this condition, or you just want to understand.
So I wanted you to advise me. Is there a place where these kids are kept in case? Because we usually see children who are being kept behind the houses, but you advise that they should be removed from there. Then somebody told me, but there is a place where they keep them, you want to go visit. No, I'll point out one. What is there in Daughters of Charity?
Don't know. You see, one thing we must know, some people are doing it, but it's not even legal. It's not government policy to isolate people who are disabled or orphaned or whatever. They are supposed to be in families. But some people are still doing it, putting orphans there. They are living on their own. No, it's not right. They are supposed to be at least with a grandmother or an uncle or somebody. Yeah. Institutionalizing is wrong. Those children grow up deprived.
Because it's only you who understands your change. They will never give them the love they have.
Organization looking out for vulnerable people who are disadvantaged. They are not disabled, but they are disadvantaged. And the lady used to bring the girls together, get funding for them to go to school, and help them get a skill.
did I come to know that? I had a friend of mine. He had that type of kid. She was working.
What type of kid?
A epileptic. Now, not epileptic, I think epileptic. Now, you see, this lady was working for a German lady. When the German lady went for a holiday, left Santa behind. When she came back, found we had lost Santa. But he had that type of kid. But the in-law would not allow this kid to stay with her husband. That lady, when she came back, she looked for me. Where's Santa? I broke the sardines. Where's Tabu? Because the boy was called Tabu. Where's Tabu? I said Tabu. Now I will look for him, but in-laws, the brother's wife, had refused to stay with Tabu. So the German gave us money. They had the lady gave us money to look after the kid. So the daughters of Janet took that kid. And this one was taking the money to Joseph. Because Santa had passed on, leaving the only child who was by that. And for me, they knew me. So the other lady and me, the child was taken by the daughters of Charity. That's why I asked.
Let's have
That's
our
why I
tea.
wanted to know whether that.
And then we shall continue with the rest of the program. We shall review the minutes of the previous meeting and the management report and have reactions. Then we'll have closing remarks. So ladies, the tea is ready. Can we start with a few ladies at the back so that the pamphlets here. There are pamphlets.
So we have Uganda.
For the minutes, look at them. If there's anything you want to adjust, then you can highlight it. Otherwise, since we all have the minutes, I think we can read them at home. But let's have the management report and some reactions, and then we can conclude and leave.
Thank you so much, Chair. The management report, we all have copies. First of all, about the liquidity. The savings portfolio as of 31st January was 789.772 million shillings. As of 28th Feb, it's at 902.296 million shillings. Then the loan portfolio as of 31st January 2026 was 1.083 billion shillings. And to date, all as at 31st Feb, it was standing at 1.123 billion. The share capital as at 31st Jan, it was at 889.84 million shillings, and currently it's at 893.72. Investments, we have investments in Britain. At the end of January, we had 265.722 million shillings, and end of Feb, 268.122 million shillings. We also have money in UAP. End of January, it was at 243.209 million, and end of Feb, 245.431 million. We still have land available for sale, and the value is